Yo, and welcome to this cold episode of Dan Escapes. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what electric car I bought. But before I get into this, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and then let's get on with it. And here it is, the Renault Zoe iconic R135 Rapid Charge. A bit of a mouthful, but I'm going to be doing a 4-part series which goes in depth into actually reviewing the car, what it's like living with the car in London, and then also infrastructure for charging, and then long journeys. But in this video, I wanted to talk about why I got an electric car. And that is the sound of a Renault Zoe. So why an electric car, you might ask? Well, we started off driving a manual petrol car, and then we were looking for an automatic, and then that's where we started looking at hybrids. I wasn't really fully sold on electric at the time, and I thought the plug-in hybrid was the best of two worlds. You've got a little bit of electric range if you're driving in town, and then you've got the petrol engine if you want to go on long distance. But then the more I thought about it and the way rules were changing, etc. And that's when I started researching electric cars properly, and actually the lower end models were actually getting really good range for the price. And that's where I considered maybe we should get an electric car rather than the plug-in hybrid versions, just because you get that added benefit of no emissions produced by this car. And that's what really got me sold. During the summer I was cycling a lot, and cycling behind cars where fumes were just constantly kicked up, and you know, you're breathing it in, and I was like, okay, it's time to get an electric car and switch over. So when considering electric cars, we had to look at the lower end because of our budget. We couldn't afford the likes of the Teslas, the Porsche Taycans, you know, that end. So the cars that we picked out that were more in our budget were the MG ZS, the Seat Mii Electric, and the Renault Zoe. We quickly ruled out the MG ZS purely because of the size. We didn't need something that big because we don't have kids, and we were living in London, so we wanted something that was easy to park and maneuver around the narrow streets. This then left the Seat Mii Electric and the Renault Zoe, both of which we test drove. We started off with the Seat Mii, and I was pretty impressed. That was the first time I drove an electric car properly. I was impressed by its power when you put the accelerator down, but it was pretty basic. You didn't really get anything in the car. You know, you got your standard cruise control, heated seats, etc. But you didn't have an infotainment system, and it just felt a bit basic inside. But we were debating because it only scored 3 stars on its safety rating, so that was a big feature that was playing on us. That's when we decided to test drive the Renault Zoe, and in doing so we did the souped up version, which is the GT line, which we were pretty impressed with. It was a very comfortable drive, had nice features. But then when we went back into the dealership to see what we could afford, it came down to the iconic. So we didn't change much in terms of the engine. So we kept the engine, battery size, and the rapid charging, but we just lost a bit of features like the tech infotainment system. We got a smaller one, etc. So 3 reasons why we went with the Renault Zoe over the Seat Mii Electric was, firstly, the motor size was a lot bigger, more powerful than the Seat. And then secondly, the battery, it's a bigger capacity, which gives you a longer range, which is perfect for longer road trips. And thirdly, the previous version of the Renault Zoe scored a 5-star on its safety rating. So be sure to watch my next videos, as I'll be going into a more in-depth review about this car, the interior, the exterior, etc., and what it's like to drive. Then I'm going to talk about what it's like owning an electric car, living in London without a driveway or home charging point. And then hopefully once this lockdown is lifted, we can take it on a long road trip and see what it's like to charge on the motorways, etc. So that's it for today's episode. I'm going to take this car for a spin. When I say spin, I'm just going to drive it home because it's not like we can go anywhere anymore now. I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments below if you've owned an electric vehicle, thinking about getting an electric vehicle, and we can talk about it and we discuss the pros and cons, etc. But yeah, hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun, and I shall see you in the next one.